Hello. So this video talks about HIV around the world and the statistics, which is a hard word to say.
And also is most heavily concentrated in the world, and which part of the world has the least amount. And it's quite interesting that no matter where you go, there is HIV all around in the world today. No denying that.
I think he said it was discovered, AIDS were discovered in 1981, and the virus was in 1983. So not that long ago. Well, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
No. And then it just kind of grew from there.
One part that I like that he mentioned was how over time that it doesn't get better, it just like steadies out. Like it never like just goes away.
Oh yeah.
It just stops getting worse.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
it's
it's just, I think a lot of people assume HIV is so high in rate because how easy people can get. They think, oh, it's just getting worse and worse. But I was actually quite surprised. Well, it's like most of it was only 1% to 5%. It's like I thought it would have been higher, like 10-20% of the population.
Yeah.
I think one reason why it's staying out is because the medications that people are taking, it's keeping them alive longer, like 10 years longer.
Yeah.
And another way you can get HIV or AIDS, not even having sexual intercourse, it could just be touching another person's blood.
Or mixing with the blood.
Yeah, I liked how he showed the bubbles and how like they went up and some like grew dropped faster like than others, and it made more sense once he explained like the ones that dropped faster. At first I thought that was a good thing until I realized it was because they were dying from HIV, and then like the more wealthy countries were like they would fall slower because they were living longer.
Yeah.
I totally thought it was like the opposite.
Well, and also another thing that was kind of surprising is like when we look at some of those countries in Africa, you think a lot of the poor people will actually be more infected than the others, but what it turned out to be is that the richer people in those populations are the ones who got the HIV a lot more than the others,
I wonder what
which is kind of surprising.
that's from.
I guess rich people can hire prostitutes. That's what I
Yeah.
I'm not
Just
sure
by-
if that's correct, but it
They
does
have
seem
I'm sure that's one way.
Well, and also like
And richer people, they want more of the respect, and in those countries, it was
or control. Yeah.
control and respect was from.
And older men liked having sex with younger women, so that's why younger women were more prone to HIV rather than young men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those all have been around too long. And also, like what he said, is like it doesn't always occur when it happens. Like some people will have a couple of sex during the month, but still won't catch it. And only if they have multiple sex in that month,
Multiple
then
partners.
he's more likely to catch it.
Right.
I kind of like how our church requires us to, or we believe in just we are married to one man and one woman. That way it's less prone for us in the church. I'm not saying everybody in the church doesn't have HIV, they probably could, but just like how because of our beliefs in the church, it's less likely for us to be prone to it.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of interesting of what we believe. It's better for like our spirits, but it's also better for us physically and mentally.
One thing that also stood out to me was how he said like our automatic reaction is to think that lots of people in Africa have HIV and AIDS, but if you can correct me if I get this wrong, but was he saying that it's the same amount of people in the United States have HIV
Yeah,
as in Africa?
Oh yeah.
Or we just because the colony is so small, it looks bigger because it's a more percentage of their overall.
Okay.
And
Agree.
I think
Agree with that. Look at Thailand, not India, because even though they don't have much HIV and he shows that bubble, it was massive because they have a lot more people than some of those, like you said, some of those South Africa where their colony is so small, that why some of the percent is so much higher than compared to other countries, United States, India, and all that.
I think it said it was 30 to 40 million people were infected with HIV and AIDS.
Like overall or in Africa?
I can't remember if it was in the U.S. or Africa. I don't think there's in.
That many people.
Yeah.
I don't
It
think.
was probably in Africa. he was going too fast.
And he talked really fast.
He did. Especially when he tried to describe his new invention.
But he spoke well though. Like his stuff that he said is funny, but he got the point across. So
It's a really interesting video.
where we can't stop we can treat them, but we can't they can't be treated like
Cure it.
we can't
Yeah,
cure
you
it,
can't
Yeah.
but we know of ways how to prevent to get them.
Or help other people to even survive for another 10 to 20
Yeah.
years. Back then, we didn't have any treatment, so they could easily die in a couple of months. But now that we came from that 25 years, we know so much more about it, how to treat it and all that. People are living a little bit more longer.
I wonder if that also affects how many people have it, because if you're living longer, but if you keep the same lifestyle, let's say like if they had multiple sex partners before, because they live longer, do they spread
Oh,
it
and
more?
they're spreading
Ah,
it and stuff.
true.
Because you are supposed to tell to let people know, but some people get so embarrassed that they don't tell.
That is true.
And your hormones just run wild sometimes.
It just takes over.
She's the one who said it. Point at her if you want to like someone.
It's science, biology. You learn this in health class, people.
Okay.
Okay.
But see you
That's
all
good.
later.